my name is Jana Perkovic. I'm a SharePoint consultant, business analyst, and also Power BI and BI solutions consultant. So today I would like to share with you a passion of mine, which is everything that has to do with Office 365 and SharePoint 365, and the BI side of this subject. Why am I so passionate about it? Because it's finally giving the users, your customers, the ability to basically do whatever they want and whatever they need with the tools in their hands. They need less of the IT need to set it up correctly, they need less of the analysis process because the analyst should give them the right tools and conditions to be able to play on their own, and they can present things much faster and much easier to their clients, to their managers, or to each other. So, how am I doing this? How the BI solutions can be delivered in the most efficient and basically beautiful way to the customers? Now, I will demonstrate it using one of the Office 365 tools. This is the Sway tool. Sway is basically a platform that is created like PowerPoint to present things that we have already achieved, to give the insight to the customers. So what are we going to talk about today? As you can see, it is not PowerPoint, it is just a specific website that was built in a few seconds just by importing the PowerPoint slides that I have created previously into this platform. I will show you how in a few seconds. So first of all, we'll do some introduction. What is a decision support model? Then we'll meet Oil Test Systems, which is basically an oil company, but not a classic oil company. It is oil check company that needs to process its data. What is the business case? We will see Oil Test System, how they progressed. 6 months ago, they have introduced SharePoint 365, and now they are making the next step. And how can Office 365 and on all its platforms and tools help the Oil Test Systems clients? So James Taylor read a book, wrote a book, later. He's a leader of Decision Management Solution. And he wrote a book called A Practical Guide to Using Business Rules and Predictive Analytics by IBM Press. So James Taylor, I have learned in Calgary University about him while taking my BI course. And I was fascinated by the model and by a very big failure that he basically introduced. You see this nice little orange arrow, we can see that the current decision-making process, and we'll see it in the future too, is basically making a decision, then doing some kind of analytic inspection, and then getting the data. Nowadays, there is so much data around us. Even this presentation and anything else that Microsoft have probably written or any other company, there is so much data for us to be able to need to know and to analyze correctly. So most of the times we would make the decision based on our gut instinct or based on previous information or maybe some kind of advice. Then we will go and try to find the right analytic evidence for this specific decision. That's of course based on the data. But let's expect what is a decision. Decision is first of all facts. It's supposed to be start with the data. The data are our facts. Then we are understanding those facts, and only later we are taking action based on those facts. So now another thing that we can say about decision is about the decision support model by James Taylor, is that it's first of all based on data, then information, then knowledge, and I am sure that most of the people who actually are watching this video know that this looks exactly like the knowledge management pyramid, because it is the knowledge management pyramid, just with one small difference. The knowledge management pyramid is ending with the knowledge presented to the right person in the right time, in the right place. This is the knowledge management theory model and aspiration, and we are using SharePoint daily to implement knowledge management in organizations. The difference in this model is that after the knowledge, we have the insight. The insight is the most important thing. The decision that is going to be made should be made based on this insight. It's like the aha moment for the management. It's not enough to basically produce the knowledge and present the knowledge. We also need to basically emphasize it with a nice marker what exactly has been discovered. And of course, this insight will help the management and any other team to get the best solution and to get the best a decision that must be made in the current states. So the right model is basically information, the input data, then the analytic insight, then the decision, and there is one more step that he's introducing in his book, which is KPI analysis following the decision process. KPI for all of us is the key performance indicators. Those are the little traffic lights or any kind of other, whether colorful insight that we get in the Excel file or in SharePoint or in any other database. Just to say if our data is inside the merges that we have predetermined for ourselves. So if the student's grades are between A and A+, probably he is excelling. If they are F, then probably he is below the indicator and below the level that he's supposed to be. So this is something the KPI will tell us. Same thing about decisions. Even after the decision was made and things were introduced to the customers, we need to analyze it. We need to analyze the decision and to see if we made a good choice or we did not make a good choice. And this is one of the most important parts in the decision support model, to see if there is a progress, if there is a better choice that was made. The tools are only helping us in this mission. They are by all means not defining this decision, and the decision must be made, of course, by management and then analyzed also by the tools based on performance. So how to deliver? I'm starting with the end of those decisions, of delivering the data in any business intelligence system or decision support system. I'm delivering to the customers. So this little box means that this presentation, this site was made with Sway. And I have promised you 6 minutes ago that I will show you what Sway is all about. So basically, those are the Sways that I have. And I can basically create by import any kind of Word, PDF, PowerPoint file, or create a new Sway from scratch. I don't need any other skills other than know how to use PowerPoint just to use this Sway. Where do I find Sway? In order to import and to create all those lovely, beautiful presentations, I find it right here. On the left side, with the Office 365 toolbox, one of them is Sway. Another thing that is worth checking out is Delve, which is basically searching your organization entirely and has beautiful results to it. But today we will deal with the sites, and we will deal with Power BI, and of course with the Sway. So the decision support Sway was created right in here. And it was created by importing the presentation, and some minor changes were added when I added pictures, videos, even tweets. I can add if I choose to, or embedded code from my website or to my website, whatever API I would like to add. And also there can be chart previews, and this is exactly where I can share my Power BI previews. It's not available yet with the Power BI, but simple charts can of course be shared here, and I'm sure that eventually we can share it with Power BI as well, hopefully, of course. So this is how easy it is to create the Sway just by a click of a button. So the other thing I can do with the Sway is of course share the Sway. I will share this presentation on the site. I can get the embedded code to place it in my website. I can put it in my Yammer if my organization has got a Yammer. I can just copy the URL and send it to my mother if I choose. And I can choose share it with only my organization, anyone with the league, or public. Of course, it can be limited if the organization is not published, is not open. Then of course I cannot share it with whoever I want to. This is permission based as everything in the SharePoint 365 tools. So no worries regarding the permissions on the data leak. Let's get back right here. We inserted a chart, of course. This is how easy it is. You see, we inserted a chart. In 5 seconds, we have the chart right here. We'll get back to oil test systems. We are going to the next stage of our lovely presentation. The next stage is introducing Oil Test Systems Ltd. This company is measuring oil qualities in vehicle parts and sending the results to customers. Very simple. Of course, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, so there is only one thing that is on our mind, and this is oil. Even with the current oil prices, we still have to keep working. So all this heavy machinery and heavy equipment that is transporting oil, that is producing oil, that is drilling oil, all of those components have got their rigs, their transmissions, their engines, and all of those components have got, besides the fuel, they need oil just to operate in the exact same way that we wish them to operate and in the field. So what all this system does is taking all those components and testing them, testing the oil quality, testing the performance hours, and it's able to give its customers the necessary recommendations, such as, guys, let's use an oil that has more magnesium because it's going to improve the hours, or let's try a different oil type that is going to contain less of another Na element or any other element that maybe is going to improve the performance or to do less damage to your equipment or to leave less solids after the oil was burned down. Okay, so 6 months ago, the oil test system already started its transformance into the 21st century by changing a very, very important process within. Before that, the customers used to receive a report that was based on PDF or Word or fax. The process was the following way. A secretary would send the report in email, sometimes even mail, printed. It was unmodifiable, and every lab technician should has to work on the lab report before sending it to the client. And see what are the problems with the client and make his recommendations. After which the clients would receive the report, say, oh, we have too much magnesium, oh, we have failed the water test, or whatever it is that they know. Now they need to schedule through the secretary a new meeting with the lab technicians of oil test system, just and only to discover if this is something that they need to change and how they are changing it. Those processes can take weeks. Weeks is a lot of money and a lot of waste, not only on the oil, but also on the machinery, and also things can get wrong. The company stored all the database, all the data in Access database, which was not connected to the internet. That means that if the customer wants to check something live, there was nothing he can do. Current state is something that I'm going to show you, is the customers have already their profile sites in SharePoint 365. Oil test system stores the test data in SharePoint sites, the test after they make the tests for each and every component, they store it in SharePoint site. They just upload it to the SharePoint list on Office 365, of course. And they also have an Azure backup database online, just to make sure. All the sales data are still stored locally in the SQL server. So this is the current state. So we will use the Power BI on the SQL server that is basically on premise. So 6 months ago, oil test systems customers really needed view their reports online instead of sending them via email, and able to communicate with the lab technicians online. And this is something we have provided and is still there, and I will show it today. future, they want to have the online updates to their organizations, not just the insights, not just the knowledge and database stored in data stored in the SharePoint list, knowledge that is coming from the this data, and also the insight with the lab technician communication, but to go to the next step, let the site to tell them what exactly went wrong. So instead of checking why should the business analyst care, using maybe sophisticated but yet a presentation, let's go to the site. I would like to introduce you the Oil Test System Ltd site. This site basically is very, very simple. I decided not to emphasize on the UI. I hope that UI is something that we can do together in another day, but right now let's focus on the functionality. So we have, of course, the company profile, the mission statement, and of course the clients. Each and every client has its own site. The site, this Oil Test System, is public for everybody to view, but the customer sites are shared specifically with the customer that we have, that we want to share it with. So we can share it with the customer on any permissions, as an owner, as an edit, as a viewer, and of course the customer will get the email. Of course, if I have the H drilling company, I don't want the W drilling company to view the customer sites. But this site is public. Public to all the customers. If I'm not the Oil Test Systems customer, I have nothing to do with this site. I have the public sites, how to connect to Oil Test Systems. On the right side, we have the newsfeed. We can do, of course, just like in Facebook or any other social media platform. This is nothing new, and it is available in 365. People can like those specific ideas. People can upload pictures, and of course, here customers can communicate with each other if needed. Here we can also see other about oil tests, the quality assurance policy, and all the things that we usually see on customers' website. Now, this is H drilling. H drilling, we went here and we have navigated by clients or by first letter of the client and of the client's name, and this top navigation basically gives us all the customers that we in Oil Test Systems have got. So here I can see the last report that was done on September 24th, sorry. The year is not correct. And we can call the lab technician right away using Skype. So not just link that we have out of the box in here connected, but also we can make a Skype call that is to specific technician that is just dealing with this specific client, or even chat with this technician online. The main structure are, of course, the inspections and the inspections and the different types of inspections. So let's go to one of those inspections, which is reports by date. This is lab results. This is the main thing. So why is it a little aside? Because here we have the filters. Those filters will basically filter the information for us. Remember, we have the data. Those are the lab results. We can add data right here, and we can communicate with the data. So we can create knowledge and insights on this data. So why are all those yellow spots and why are the filters? So the filters, of course, just filtering the information for us. There are different components, so if I want, before that I see the Pacific Rim, and now I see the engine. I have all the data regarding the rig, regarding the maker and the model, and I want to see the lab results that are relevant to me. Besides the lab results themselves, I also have the standard audio values to compare with. So John Deere, for example, who wants to is a producer, and there is a specific oil that or mobile oil, they produce the oil, and those are the standard values, especially regarding the oil hours, the engine hours, which is very important, and what is supposed to be there. And here we have the results that were basically in the test and why the values are not matching the exact same values. So those yellow dots and those yellow squares are indicating that there is some kind of a problem. Here we have a problem with the Cu, here we have a problem with the magnesium. There is some kind of a problem in the data, not in the data, in the elements in the oil, which result performance that is not that good regarding the hours. We can also, of course, communicate with the specific lab technician that has showed us those results just online using a link, or just online using a link or any other platform. So, or even chat with him on his My Site page. I won't go right now to the My Site page. This is a whole total different story, and we also are exploring so many different platforms. But I guess you can figure it. You can check it out later, or I will do another session regarding the My Site. So what have we seen here regarding decision support? We have seen the data, which are the results. We have filtered the data. We have created some kind of a knowledge because it's different data type, different data progress. And we have seen the insights, which are the yellow little things. Okay, we have a problem here, and we should discuss this problem with the lab technician and create new insights. Now, we given those the customer what they needed 6 months ago and what they still need, of course, which is present everything to their clients. I can add a new item. Instead of adding it locally on my Excel spreadsheet or any other way, I can add it here, centralized on my Office 365. As you can see, there is place for each and every element in those oil tests. I have the lab number, the sample date, just like I load any standard list to SharePoint. Of course, the UI user interface can be changed, and everything is filtered by the location, the make, and the model, just to make us sure that we have the right data connected to the right metadata, and not just the elements and the sample size. So I will cancel that. I will not enter new data, because now to enter like 30 elements and other lines is not something I would wish to do. But basically, this is how the new lab technicians, the new process in all the systems, instead of the locally stored data, we have a data stored in Office in SharePoint 365. Now, we can also have other reports. For example, lubricant inspection record. They're also filtered by location and client units number. And this is not a comparative report. This is just the results for the oil without the comparison part. So there are different types of reports and data. So what am I eventually doing with all this data? And here we are going to the Power BI, the previous version. Previous version of Power BI, we would just click Power BI. I'm coming back to the previous screen. If I click here on Power BI, this is the screen I'm getting. This is something that Microsoft is going to retire on September 23rd. They introduced also the migration process from here to the new Power BI. We can also, so this is basically done by transforming all the reports that are in the Power BI library by a click importing them to the new Power BI. But I can also ask with Power BI questions and query it, just like I can with the new version of the Power BI. But currently what we have here is basically Excel. We have many Excel spreadsheets, Excel reports. We are creating dashboards by picturing things, by featuring reports. And what we basically do in the sales report, the sensitivity reports, this is all going to go away. So we'll just click an X on it. And this is the old platform. We only have got the, not even the dashboards, the specific sections for the specific measurements and records, and we can query them using the Excel. So I have one of those Excel open right here. Those are the results. Those results can be imported from SharePoint list or directly to be here in the Excel. Depends how, if it's maybe a legacy report that they still got from their previous system, or the new ones in SharePoint. We have the optimal values, and we can add here KPIs and other indicators. Here we have the water test. Basically, they have some kind, they add some range to the specific oil type, and we can create those reports by dragging the fields that we want to show and the views in the filter. And here I have, I'm filtering by water levels in this test, and I'm seeing the aluminum levels that are affected, the aluminum that stays as the solid at the end of the process. And I can drag from here, I can get the insight. Again, everything is online. This is Excel, but it can be shown in Excel online. Everything is online with the customer. The technician is talking about a live report. He can change the data. He can add a specific field, another field to the data, and remove fields as he chooses. And you can see I moved it a little bit. Let's see if this affects. And he can add other components to it, just to make sure that things are the things are adjusted according to the oil test levels. So we have to the optimal levels for the best performance possible. So this is what Power BI basically gives us, the ability to see, to choose the oil type, to choose with the customer together online. And this is something that was introduced very successfully, let's say, in this mock-up company. And of course, customers like to see their data transformed this way. We can have any other kind of Power Pivot, graphs, and other types of graphical design that we choose according, of course, to the customer's need. Here we guess this is just the sensitivity report for the specific company. So what else can oil test system want? How can Office 365 help oil test systems? I switched back to PowerPoint just to make sure that you understand that I can work with PowerPoint as well. So our next, this is my PowerPoint. How can Office 365 help oil test systems? First of all, Sway is also available to online and also available for mobile, device presentations. So not just we have all the information online, we also have the screens that are fitting the different mobile presentations. Whoever is building a website knows what a responsive design is and how much is painful to design the CSS for each and every size that those mobile devices can do. So basically, with Sway, we present those precious results that we have just seen regarding the, for example, sensitivity report on oil from our Excel. We just add those graphs in Sway and present them and together with the PowerPoint, and we don't need to worry about the mobile sites. Delve. This is a very powerful tool that I really recommend you to search and work a little bit more with, and I am sure that I will create a presentation soon about it. Powerful search. This is a powerful search. It includes email and even the OneDrive. The OneDrive for Business is part of the Office 365 suite, and it has all you need for storage online for your clients. So just check it out how much storage you have got. I believe that giga per person, but it depends on what type of Office 365 you have got. Power BI with Azure and SQL Server. So I showed you the Power BI, the previous version. Now we are going to move to the next version of Power BI. Online reports. We have seen those online reports whether on Excel or Excel on live chat with and live chat with experts. So how is it all connected? This is a very important slide that I really wanted to show on PowerPoint before I show it online. So let's start with the SQL Server on site. I haven't shown it yet to you. But as I previously mentioned, the oil sales records and oil test system companies selling the tests, but it's also selling the different oil types. How convenient. All those records are kept on SQL Server on site, no more access. Then we can have a regulatory body database, all standard industry values. Now, we currently store those oil type standard industry values in a SharePoint list. We can make a connector that with event receiver that is going to take those values from at the site of the regulatory body or the sites of every oil company, and basically present the results refreshed each time. So we won't have to load the current SharePoint list with all the data from all different sources. Excel file online or results archive. The archived results are currently in Excel files because this is how they used to do that. If they are not importing it to the SharePoint, or if there is a lab technician that still wants to work with Excel, no problem. All the Excel files online can be used as well. And we have the current oil test results. They are in SharePoint list. This is another data source. We have already got 4 different types of data sources that we need to combine. The last one is the future storage for the oil sales data, and of course the backups is Azure SQL database. All this can be represented using the user interface client on Office 365 site. That means one place on Office 365, you can get all those data sources connected, analyzed, and the insight created online as you speak. So let's discuss the current business case. We've discussed the previous business case and showed how from PDF files on mail we transferred it into nice and lovely little customer sites that the customer can communicate using this site with the lab technicians and with oil test, and to know that his data is online. So what's the next step? For example, we can question the customers. The customers can ask oil test systems after getting the test, what is the correlation between the acidity and water levels? So he doesn't have to, he will still be able to have those questions answered as they were in the previous Power BI. How much did we sell per store and by quarter? This is something that inner material, this is something that is not obviously exposed to customers, but it helps all the system. How does the different geographical location or weather affect the engine hours? This is something that we can distribute on a geographical map or on locations, and this is something Power BI can help us doing by collecting the data from the right location. So we can add a location column to the data and see those things spread nicely. Of course, in Alberta, it's very important because we have the Rockies. So how is the function difference on the prairies and in the mountains, and how the oil wears out quickly, and to be able to store enough oil and to be able to use the correct oil for those different conditions. All of that done by Power BI, done by the online platform together with the customer online. And according to latest research, a customer might come up with a latest research, optimal values are different than recommended. Can we compare those values? Can we add new values? Can we edit it somehow? Those are questions that the customers, of course, need to discuss with the technician online. So what is the new Power BI? The new Power BI in Office 365 and the new Power BI for desktop. We have 2 versions. So live Power BI dashboards and reports, they can be either with live query or scheduled refresh. It depends where is basically the data source line, and if it's desktop Power BI, or online Power BI. Both of the versions have most of the features, and frankly, talking with other people regarding this lecture, I have not seen, there are advantages to both the desktop and the online version, but the most important advantage in the online version is, of course, the querying. The querying, the ask me a question, is a very important feature that is basically you ask your BI a question and he gives you an answer. And this is a killer application. all the things that are created using the dashboard BI can also be published as dashboards and workboards and opened with the online version, and vice versa. Of course, permissions are required and the data connection is required. I must say that I work with 2 users, and one is for my desktop and one is my online Berkovic Consulting account on my Office 365. And those 2 users, of course, only the user that has the permissions for the SQL Server can use the desktop because the data is in the SQL Server. But the online user can use the SharePoint data because the data is there, so the Power BI can access only the things that you have got the user to. And this is very important. There is secure SSO direct connection to data using Azure Active Directory authentication, and this is very important to know because this is the #1 question you'll be asked by any client or customer. Okay, how safe is my data? Now it's accessible to all those kind of inquiring applications. Can somebody bridge into this? So this is the answer. So let's see some cool Power BI stuff. So this is basically the Power BI on my desktop. This is already looks so nice and awesome. So I can basically query the cube that I have created using this old-fashioned but very, very efficient tool, which is the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. I created the cube here. I have exported the cube and the database, and this is basically the tabular model, but I also get the cube. And I connect my data right here. And I connect my data right here. Sorry about that. So what I wanted to show is that I can connect the data using different cities. For example, the water tank, how many sales unit we had there, how many sales we have got per state, per zip code. I can query, as you can see, the data is changing because I have got the page filter and I have got the group filter that are helping me a lot. So I have here sales in units, but I can add sales in dollars just by getting myself a new diagram here or managing those existing diagrams. As you can see, I have got all the sales data in units for Saskatchewan, but I can also add sales in dollars for this specific province. Here are the total sales in dollars that I have got. And as you can see, I manage it by playing with the group, adding as many different graphs as I want to. I can filter things either on the page or in a specific graph. This is very convenient because if I have a page filter, for example, just a second, I can filter the data in the entire page and not just it disappeared because there are no sales data right here. You see, only in this aggregate view for the entire page the data is changing. So basically what I want to tell you here is that querying the data this way with the customer or pre-creating those examples with the dashboard and then creating the dashboard and then publishing the dashboard to the customer is a very convenient way and very beautiful way to work with data, and the user interface here is much more friendlier than the Excel. The performance is higher and I can do it both online or offline, depends on my needs. Of course, I can add any kind of shape, any kind of picture, and here in the product sales, I have got you already a dashboard that is prepared, a page in this dashboard with a little picture and the total sales in dollar for everything that was shipped. Of course, it's a mock-up data, so this can be, we can play with it according to geographical location, according to any kind of graphs type, and add the presentation layer that we need. After this, export it in either this way, either directly to the customer, share it. We can publish it on our 365 website, or save the changes and publish it on our 365 website or any other place. And we can even add, okay, we are canceling right now the publishing, close. And we can even add a little smiley or a frown. We have here this like, not like in Facebook currently, a little smiley or a frown regarding the data, regarding the use of a platform, and any other things that we would choose to have. So this was the desktop version, and we also have got the online version. So we are back to our age drilling, and now we are doing Power BI. We simply clicked on the top of the page here, Power BI. Let's come back to this. Now we have something totally different. Those are our oil values that we have used, and those are the measures from August 4th, as you can see, and the counts, it's from the different months. And we also created our dashboard here. We can get our data. This is the online version. Again, from my organization, I can contact to the SQL Server or to Azure database. Here, I can import the data. I can connect to a specific library or service, and I even browsing in your workplace, you can discover databases, but of course they will be locked by permissions, so you cannot do that. You can bring the CSV files directly to Power BI and upload it. Of course, it's stored online, and the limit, the storage limit, was also something that discussed, is basically your limit in Azure. You pay as you go, and this is the current version. Of course, we can have all those kind of connections and different dashboards that can be created. The DMS view is the different measure that can be created. Let's see, we can here have the columns, sales per date, add filters, and add all the presentation layers that we wish to add by editing the report. Here we go, we clicked on edit report, and we have the same thing that we have had before on the desktop version. Now, two little differences. First of all, you see column 27, column 28, column 47, and there on the desktop version it was so pretty. So basically what I did here, the previous report that you have seen was connecting to our data in to our data here in SharePoint, but this report is was based on a cube. We do not have the cube model in here, so what happens is it basically turns it into a tabular model and loses some of the information on its way. What was told on the Microsoft webinar in the September 23rd by the by the product manager of the Power BI products in Microsoft is that this is something that will be fixed eventually, and it will contain the cube, but there is no timeline for that yet. So we're our fingers are crossed, because I think that our customers really, really need that. The other difference is this. We want to query this report. So let's go back to my workspace. Okay. Okay, so we have up to 10 gigabytes of data right here, because this is the content pack that I have got. Creating content pack is basically creating the dashboard that used to be. It used to be called dashboard, now it's called just the content pack. And of course I can import one, I can import a dashboard, and I can get the data from whichever data source. Okay, let's refresh the data. Oh, in the dashboards themselves, what I wanted to show you is ask me a question. So I have the manual of how to ask a question. I can basically the Ask Me a Question is the new way to use SQL language. So here's a few suggestions. Okay, column 43. So this is select from where. Instead of select from where, I am just asked it, give me all the data in column 43. And here we go, we have the SQL Server query, we have the data queried online instead of doing it using the SQL language. So for you customers that are not so sure about how to use SQL, here we go, a great solution. They use it basically in English and don't need to hustle more about this. So just few final touches. We have more platforms and insights that are coming. Today we can connect to all those beautiful platforms like Visual Studio and Dynamic CRM and GitHub and even Google Analytics with Power BI. So your Google Analytics data can be queried by Power BI. In the future, even MailChimp and SuiteIQ and SQL entry will be connected. As you can see, the Office 365 is not fully connected yet, but of course it is going to be more integrated with Power BI, so there is so much more to expect. And I would just like you to leave you with this future lying ahead of you and thinking of how Power BI can help you with. And of course, I would love to help you as well with anything that is needed. So thank you so much for the attention, and hopefully you liked it. And okay. So thank you so much again for the attention, for whoever survived up till now. I would love to help you with all your BA tasks, BI solutions, and SharePoint in general. And so keep in touch, and I'm looking for new opportunities, and hopefully we will get the chance to meet and work together. And again, thank you so much for the attention. Bye.